What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to talk about Instagram influencers versus Facebook ads. Now I see a lot of people asking whether they should be doing Facebook ads or Instagram influencers, or what's the best way to get started out. And the thing is, there's pros and cons to each one of these things, and at the end of the day they're both methods that you can use to get traffic, and they're both methods that you can use together with each other, and you'll hopefully be able to get a lot of traffic and customers to your store. So really, there is a pretty big difference between Instagram influencers and Facebook ads. Now, I'm not talking about Instagram ads here. I'm talking about Instagram influencers. When you pay a page to basically shout out your product and put a post up about your product, and they usually link to it in the bio. Since you can't link to anything in the description in Instagram, you have to link to something in the bio. So you go to their page, and then they basically shout you out, and they have the link to your page and to your store, and they shout you out, and it's usually for a certain amount of time, like I think usually 10 or 12 hours. I've never personally went and got Instagram influencers. I've always liked Facebook ads better, and we're going to go over the reason why I like Facebook ads better. But as far as Instagram influencers go, it is a cool kind of method to get started and to get going, but I'm going to go over a little bit why I like Facebook ads and everything better. But really, we're just going to go over the difference between Facebook and Instagram, Facebook ads and Instagram influencers. There we go. So you can see I got this little chart kind of mapped out here, and what I want to do is I just want to draw a line down the middle here. Okay, so Instagram. The pros of Instagram influencers. Easy to start. It's really easy to get started because you literally just go and look at some pages in your niche. Excuse me. You go and look at pages in your niche, and basically you just message them and say, hey, can you shout us out? We'll pay you, how much for a 12-hour shout out. And then they'll give you a quote, and then you'll say either yes or no, and then you'll kind of get started with that. And it's also nice because it's a fixed price, and it's not like Facebook ads where you're charged ongoing. Like it's usually a daily budget. So Instagram ads are really easy, or Instagram shout outs, I'm sorry, are really easy to get started and going with, because you literally just have to message the person whose page you want to be on. Alright, so next pro for Instagram. Whoops. Okay, so another pro is you can get a lot of traffic really quickly. And with Facebook ads, it kind of takes a while to kind of trickle in some traffic to your store. And that's one of the big things with Facebook ads, is it's as close to instant as you can get from like a self-serve ads place. With Instagram shout-outs, it's pretty much instant, and as soon as they make the post, you should start getting traffic. Alright, so we'll get started with some of the cons of shout-outs. So some of the cons is it's not scalable. And this is honestly the reason why I don't use Instagram shout-outs right now. Is they're not scalable. They're not like Facebook ads where you can just up the budget and you'll keep getting more traffic. With Instagram ads or Instagram influencers, you can keep buying shoutouts, but it's not really scalable. You can't really, there's not really as much data to go off of as there is with Facebook ads. So the next con with Instagram shoutouts is pages can have a lot of engagement, or they can have a lot of followers, but they might not have a lot of engagement, and they might just be because people will just basically use bots to build up big pages, and then they'll just sell shoutouts and everything, but they won't really have quality traffic because it's just people who are basically following each other, and it's just kind of like they're not genuine people using the platform. They're just bots trying to get a bunch of followers. So oops. I'll just put down some profiles can be fake. And, you know, they'll gladly take your money, but again, they might not deliver on what you actually want, and you might not actually get any traffic to your store. And I see this happen a lot. They'll be like, I bought an Instagram shout out and, you know, I didn't get any traffic. Well, it could be because the traffic that they sent you was, or the people on that page weren't real people liking, they were just bots. So next kind of con here, I know there's a lot of cons. You can tell I don't really like Instagram shoutouts that much for beginners. Okay, so the con so far is it's not scalable. Some profiles can be fake, and it's just like I said, you usually buy shoutouts for like, you know, 12 hours or 24 hours or whatever. So you're gonna get a big burst of traffic, especially right after the initial post, and then after that it's kind of gonna dwindle down, and then eventually it's gonna get cut off because the next person's gonna get a shout out on the page. So you kind of have to share with everybody, and you're kind of in line to get a shout out if it's a really popular page. Now I will add another pro real quick. Is you can actually get a lot of pixel data for your Facebook pixel pretty quickly. And that's because you're going to get this big burst of traffic visiting your site, and they might not all buy, but they will be visitors. So in theory, this is something I was going to test out, is you can go on and buy a shout out like this, and then you can just go ahead and get a whole bunch of pixel data, and then you can retarget to that audience, and then you can build a lookalike audience of all the people who visited your site. So you can kind of go in there and get you can kind of make your own audience on Facebook, which is actually something that's really cool, and I think that that's something that I'm going to test out in the near future. So that's something that's actually a good pro. So enough about the Instagram shoutouts. We're going to go ahead and talk about Facebook ads right now. So obviously, we'll start with the cons for Facebook ads. So cons is it can be expensive. Whoops. Okay, so it can be expensive. When people are first starting out, they usually shy away from spending money on ads because it can be expensive. I mean, really, the way I teach, I start out between $5 and $10 a day to kind of test products out. But it can get really expensive pretty quickly because if you don't watch what you're spending, and if you mess up on the budget, then you can spend a lot of money really quickly on Facebook. So that's one con, is it can be expensive. Now, I personally think that Facebook ads are pretty easy. Jesus, how do I make this smaller? Okay. Personally, I think Facebook ads are pretty easy and straightforward. But for a beginner, I can see how it can be something that's like really complicated and intimidating. Especially with, they just did a big redesign with the ads manager, and it just it's confusing. It's even to me, like it's still a little bit confusing. Especially when people start talking about retargeting and lookalike audiences and pixels and all this stuff. It can really make your head spin as a beginner, and I know it did for me for a while, but it's just one of those things that you have to practice and put some money up and spend some money, and it's really how you do it. You have to learn by experience. So that's definitely a con, is it can be really confusing, and it can be expensive at first as well. So a pro for Facebook ads is it's very scalable. Now again, like I was talking about earlier just now, why can't I make this shrink? Come on. Okay, like I was talking about earlier, is it's kind of hard to scale the Instagram traffic because when you're getting a shout out, it's just you're getting a shout out on a page. When you're buying a Facebook ad, you're buying space in the Facebook news feed, so that you're buying space in the Facebook news feed and people are seeing your ads. It's not just one post one time like an Instagram influencer is. It's a post that keeps getting put on people's timelines throughout the day. So it's really it's really scalable, and it's pretty easy to reach people. So another pro is there's tons of different targeting that you can use. There's tons of different targeting options. There's pretty much every niche, from dogs to like cooking and everything. There's a ton of different audiences and a ton of different interests that you can target, so that you can get the people that you want to visit your site and the people that are most likely to convert. You can get those people to your site pretty easily with Facebook advertising. So there's a ton of different targeting options. Another thing is it's long term, and when I say it's long term, it kind of goes hand in hand with scaling, because with Facebook ads, like Facebook ads aren't going to be around forever. It's like something. It's the same thing that happened with AdWords back in the day. I mean, AdWords is obviously still around, but a lot of people, it became really expensive to be on AdWords, and you had to kind of be able to spend more money to acquire customers. So a lot of people, they just gave up on AdWords. And then on Facebook, we're kind of seeing the same thing where ad costs will go up eventually in the future. Sometimes this isn't really necessarily the case right now. But ad costs are probably going to go up in the future, and then people will inevitably leave Facebook ads, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive to advertise on there. But again, who knows how long Instagram influencers will be around, because the thing is, Instagram influencers are kind of untapped the past year or two, because people that have these big pages don't understand how much their traffic and how much their audience is worth. They're just kind of like, you want a 12-hour post, it's $50. There's people that are really severely undervaluing the value of their traffic. So eventually, when people catch on and people become smarter and better marketers, they'll understand that their traffic's worth a lot more, and they're going to start charging a lot more. Like $200-$300 for a shout out, or even more. Like I said, I don't know, but eventually it's going to kind of get really expensive, and you might as well just be on Facebook at that point if it's going to be, $200-$300 for a shout out. Because if you're testing products, you can test a product with $50 or $75 on Facebook. So, that's really it, guys. I know Instagram influencers have been pretty popular the past year or so, and there's been some courses and everything that have come out. I've never really messed with Instagram influencers that much, like I said. But, I'm sure it can be an awesome way to get a quick burst of traffic and kind of get a bunch of people and eyeballs on your site. But Facebook ads is really what I focus on, because it's really scalable, and it's a lot more long term, because you're going to have a lot of data on the pixel and everything, and you're going to have a lot of audiences that you can create and retargeting and everything. But I think both kind of go hand in hand, and you can use both to start your store. There's a lot of different tactics, and there's not just one. The way that I've always used is just straight up Facebook ads, and that's kind of the way I do things. And Instagram in the future, I might go ahead and experiment with. Like I said, you can get a lot of data for your Facebook pixel really quickly just from Instagram shout outs and Instagram influencers. But as far as that goes, guys, that's really the big pros and cons of both. And with that being said, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. I think I'm going to make a lot more Facebook videos, because that seems to be what you guys are interested in. But as always, it's going to be Shopify dropshipping and just kind of general entrepreneurship stuff. So go ahead, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.